This is Jackie with thecuttingedgeculture.com, sponsored by Cavada Clothing. I am here with Matty Mullins from Memphis May Fire. You just got back from a European tour.
2 days ago.
2 days ago. Are you even remotely back on East Coast time, or?
No, I'm on no coast time. It's like I barely slept on the flight home, so still really jet lagged, but it's okay. You know, this is what it's like. This is my life, so I'm cool with it.
What was your favorite stop on the European tour?
We had so many amazing shows over there. I'd say if I had to pick one, probably London, because it was out of control. The show was awesome.
How do European fans differ from American fans? Do they react differently?
I think Europe and the music scene over there is slowly moving towards what the American scene has kind of become, where it's like, you know, if I don't want to say it wrong, but I guess in America you see a lot more of this, you know, and like kids kind of like, I'm too cool for this, or, you know, like I don't want to move because I don't want to be embarrassed in front of my friends kind of thing. Where it's like, you know, back in the day when I was going to shows like Showbread, Embodiment, and Blindside and stuff, it's like it doesn't matter what's going on, you're there to rage. So it's like I've seen that in a few, you know, like the bigger markets over there, but I would say it's still more so overseas touring, which is, you know, the kids are just so excited to see you, and, you know, it was our first time there, so we had great responses every night. But I think, you know, just like over here, I think maybe the promoters are starting to flood the market over there a little bit, but I mean, it really didn't affect us much. The shows were all really awesome, so.
Very cool. How do you keep motivated going from tour to tour to tour with very little time in between?
Honestly, I just love what I do, you know. Our fans are really cool. The band is constantly growing, and we're seeing, you know, more and more kids at every show, new faces we've never seen before. You know, like kids writing me on Facebook or on Twitter and telling me, you know, like how my lyrics have helped them through certain things and everything. That's all just like straight motivation for me to keep doing this, no matter how hard it is. So I don't know, I'd say like our fans definitely, and just like the love for music and touring.
Very cool. Tomorrow starts Rock Yourself to Sleep. So you'll have beds.
Yeah.
How does having a hotel room every night make things easier for touring versus buses?
Well, I think what a lot of people don't understand is that, you know, when you have 8, 10, 12-hour drives in between shows, which is, you know, fairly often,
Especially
you don't.
Tonight.
Yeah, like getting a hotel doesn't ever make sense because you drive overnight, you know. And for us, it's a little bit easier now. We have a driver now, and we also, you know, like built bunks in our van, like bus-style bunks. It's really cool. So it's like it's really comfortable for us to be in the van at night, which is awesome. But what it definitely means is just like being able to shower every day. So we can go to the hotel after the show and shower real quick and then start the drive. So we're always clean, and that's awesome on tour. It's definitely a privilege.
I'm sure that helps kind of boost your morale just in general.
For sure.
I've interviewed Asking Alexandria. They've recently paired with Sebastian Bach a few times. If you could pair up with any classic rocker, who would you pair up with?
Jeez. I don't know, I guess Kellen is such a huge Turntable Pilots fan that I think he'd probably love it if we could do some stuff with Scott Weiland, which would be awesome. But I don't know, that's a hard one for me. I guess I didn't really grow up on classic rock like a lot of people did, so that one's a little bit different for me. But yeah, I'd definitely say Scott Weiland for Kellen.
I hope he's not twitching that, you know, that Turntable Pilots would be considered classic rock. It's not yet. Please don't, not yet.
I don't think it is. Yeah, I guess that would just be the closest
90s,
thing for us, you know?
I'll count it for your answer, but it makes me feel older if you consider it classic
Yeah, they're
rock.
still not. They're 90s bands, so I guess, yeah, it wouldn't be considered that.
5 more years.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. One of your songs borrows lyrics from a Robert Frost poem, A Road Not Taken. Do you have any other poets or authors that are of influence to you?
That poem was just really stood out to me, like especially during that time I was writing. He's definitely one of my favorite poets. I consider a lot of the lyricists that I love, like vocalists, frontmen, I consider them great poets, and that's really the poets that I look up to. But that specific song, I wanted to use older poetry, which is the reason why I used that poem. But no, I guess a lot of my favorite poets are just even some of my fellow friends that I tour with and can relate to their songs, and some of the bands I grew up listening to. So yeah, I guess just other frontmen mostly.
If you could pick any song or any album to be kind of like your soundtrack, maybe to your life now or to an important part of your life, what would it be?
Any song that we've written or that?
Anyone.
Anyone.
It's probably most of your songs are a soundtrack to at least some part of your life.
I guess it sounds really cliche, but as far as our current lives, I think A Day to Remember did a really good job with Homesick, kind of portraying what it's like to be in a band, your relationships with friends and family at home, what it's like to be on the road. And so I would say, yeah, I guess for any touring band, for any musician that stays on the road as much as we do, I think Homesick is just like our anthem.
That makes sense. You have a song that was contributed to the Saw soundtrack, and as well as Rock Band 3. Any other plans to branch out in kind of those interesting new ways that...
Yeah. We have 2 songs on Rock Band now, actually, which is really cool. And yeah, we were on the Saw 6 soundtrack. I think like movie placement and video game placement is something that every artist dreams of getting, and I think the fact that we got to experience that earlier on in our career was just astonishing for us. We were so really happy about it. And yeah, absolutely. I think our manager and our label will consistently be looking for song placement and movie placement and stuff like that. It really helps the band, and if the company likes what we're doing, then it's flattering for us, so we're always down to keep doing it, yeah.
Excellent. Are you working on a new album?
Yes.
Plans to record around when?
We're going to be back in the studio in March. So we have a lot of touring to do between now and then. But we do have March scheduled, and we'll be shooting for a July release, which I don't know if I'm allowed to say or not, but yeah, July.
Nice, that's a birthday present for me, I'll take it.
Awesome.
You have quite a bit of ink.
Mm-hmm.
What's your first tattoo and your last tattoo?
My first tattoo was on my left shoulder, and it's when I was 18, the day I graduated high school, I got it. But I still love it. It's a hand that's holding 3 playing cards, and the playing cards say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and then in banners it says play your cards right. And that one was done, my entire left arm was done by a guy named Matt Lentz, L-E-N-T-Z. He's based out of Seattle, and he's my favorite tattoo artist of all time. He's incredible. So I think even though it was an 18-year-old idea and tattoo, it's still one of my favorite because he does such an amazing job on recreating your ideas and making them cooler than they really are, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
What's your most recent one?
My most recent one is the top half of my right arm. I'm finishing my right sleeve, and this arm represents it is a seraphim angel worshiping God, and seraphim angels are the angels in heaven that it is their duty to worship God. And so the bottom half is the seraphim angel, and the top half is the throne of God. To represent God through a tattoo is hard because he's not a physical being, so it's actually just the throne of God, which is explained in the book of Revelation. And so it's got like everything that's explained around it, and then the throne with rays of light coming off of it. But I'm actually going to be working it more on this tour, so probably finish it up soon.
Very nice, very nice. Last time around, I talked to Joey from the Skylit Drive, who
Cool.
you will see very soon.
Tomorrow, yeah.
And I asked him if he would reveal anything that is interesting or weird that fans don't know about him, and he confessed that he knows every lyric to the new Britney Spears album.
Really?
Yeah, that pretty much sums up Joey. I have a feeling. Is there anything weird or interesting that fans don't know about you that they'd be interested to find out?
Well,
That
yeah.
you'd be willing to reveal.
Yeah. One thing that I get made fun of for a lot, like within my band, but then there's like a group of people that agree with me on this, and then there's a group of people that make fun of me for it. But my favorite band, like throughout high school, and one band that I still listen to and respect a lot, was this band from San Diego called My American Heart. And their singer Larry is about the same age I am, so like growing up and watching him and what he was doing was always a huge inspiration to me because he's a great lyricist, and I think every melody he's ever written is like perfect. So yeah, no, I love that band. I always will love that band. I don't care what the haters say. My American Heart is always going to be one of my favorite bands. And actually on the All Stars tour, because they're from San Diego, you know, they're not a band anymore, but I put their singer Larry on our guest list, and I wrote him on Twitter, and I was like, yo dude, I put you on the guest list, come out. And like I didn't expect a response, and he